Today's video, we're going to try to give our Big Ten predictions, our best attempt at it at least, and predict the conference winners, conference runner-ups, and everyone that's else going to be contending here. This, of course, is the conference that has won 3 straight national championships, all different teams too. Shout out to Jacob here, being an Ohio State fan. So let's see if we can maybe get it right today, and if we can't, call us stupid.
Don't be mean about it, though. You can call us stupid, but just don't be mean.
Nah, be mean about it, dog. I'm putting on a t-shirt.
You might make me cry. We'll put my face of me crying on a t-shirt.
Oh, that'd be a great shirt. That'd be a great shirt. All right, Jacob. Who is your conference winner of the Big 12? Big 10, I mean. I think it's probably pretty obvious, for you. I'm assuming.
Yeah. I have the Ohio State Buckeyes beating the Oregon Ducks in the conference championship game.
Okay. So for anyone that's watching the standalone video, I want the record to be known. In this single setting, we have done ACC, Big 12, and Big 10. And now for all 3 in a row, Jacob and I have been on the same page, which is kind of weird. I also have the Ohio State Buckeyes winning the Big 10, beating the Oregon Ducks in the Big 10 championship. See, the camera be focusing. Why are you focusing, big dog? Lock in. But yeah, no, I think Ohio State, man, it's Ohio State. They always reload. I think Julian's going to take a massive jump, and he was already great last year. I think Julian is going to take a stupid level jump this year. I'm super high on him as like my Heisman favorite. There are a couple other guys across the country that I like too, but I mean, for now, Julian's probably my number one. I think Julian's going to take a huge jump this year, and and he could probably be remembered as one of the more fondly remembered quarterbacks for Ohio State that you guys have had in a while. And you guys have had some great quarterbacks, right? And obviously it's, not trying to jab, but, quarterbacks that tend to fizzle out in the NFL besides a couple here or there. I mean, fun fact, CJ Stroud is your all-time passer in the NFL in terms of Ohio State quarterbacks, I think he's number 2. He's number 2. Because I had a list for this recently because I was going to quiz you on it. That was like 3 months ago, and I forgot. I got to find that list. But obviously, post Ohio State, they tend to get forgotten. You know what I mean? I think Julian is going to be a guy, dude. I think he is going to absolutely take this Buckeye Nation to a whole different level, especially when you got Jeremiah Smith coming back. You got all the pieces you got coming back. I mean, when I look at Ohio State, I'm looking at a 12-0 big dog. Like, I'm gonna keep it real. That's a 12-0 team for me right there. Which there are some humps to get over for sure. You guys have a damn tough schedule, but I think you guys have a damn tough team. You've got the Texas game, of course. Indiana, we don't have Fernando and stuff, but it's Indiana. It's Kurt. They're going to be competitive. I think USC is going to be sneaky good, man. I really do. I mean, then they have a damn tough schedule, but you guys got to play them. You got to play Oregon in the regular season, and it don't matter if they're a 6-6 team. The game is always up for a coin flip. But I think it's one of those things where I could see Ohio State finishing. I'm sorry, no disrespect. I can see them finishing 9-3, but I think they're going to go 12-0.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% across the board. Aside from the 9-3 part, I could see them at the least going 10-2. 9-3 is a stretch.
Come on now, you got some tough games in there.
We do have. Well, we have. I'm pretty sure. Last I checked, we have top 10.
Yeah,
a top 10 strength of schedule.
Yep.
But no, I agree with you about Julian. I think this year is going to be his biggest year yet because the wide receiver core is better. The offensive line is better. The running game is going to be a lot better this year. Bo Jackson's about to be electric on the ground. I have them going total, obviously, including the championship game, 12-1. I do not have an undefeated season for us this year. I have our sole loss coming week 7 at Indiana. I think Indiana is a crutch for us, or it's just going to be like a little jab. I think Kurt has our number, and until again they prove me wrong, I'm going to take Indiana in that game. I think that they have a better quarterback this year, personally speaking, in Josh Hoover than Fernando. I know that's a little controversial, but I do still believe in the Hoosier team.
So where do you have Indiana going, the defending champs who had an ungodly great season?
I have them tied for third at 11-1. I have their loss their sole loss coming in week 9 to Minnesota.
Okay. So I actually have Indiana losing 2 games and going 10-2.
Oh. You have them losing against the Buckeyes?
Buckeyes, obviously, since I've got that 12-0 prediction. Can you guess their other loss?
It's gonna be either Nebraska or Washington.
Negative to both.
Oh.
Plot twist. I think Indiana could drop back-to-back games and lose to Michigan. Say what you want, man. I like Kyle as a coach. I know there's been a lot of jokes and memes and stuff about, what he said about Michigan, Ohio State. I mean, I get it. It's fair to joke and meme, but I like him as a coach where I don't think he's ever going to take you over the top. I don't think he's going to take Michigan over the top, but he's going to keep you always in the picture. You know what I mean? Kind of like what Tyler would always say about Jay Frank. Jay Frank always kept Penn State in the picture. That's what Kyle would do with Utah. And I think it's going to be the same thing here with Michigan. I like the quarterback they have over at Michigan personally. I don't think Michigan's going to win the conference or be competing for top of the conference. I mean, I think they're going to win 10, not 10 games, sorry. 9 games is roughly where I've got Michigan falling. But I like the coach, man. I like Kyle. Me picking Indiana losing at Michigan was with a lot of hesitancy. It's just me wanting to be a little spicy I could see that happening, right? I could see losing to Ohio State and somehow magically losing a game the next week. Indiana fans may be like, dude, you are smoking the finest crack in the nation, as probably something Ricky would say. Shout out to Rick.
Probably.
But it's just one of those sneaky little feelings that I've got where I could see this happening. And I decided to go ahead and be a little spicy and lock it in.
Look, okay. I'm sure Kyle is a fantastic person. I'm sure he's a fantastic human being. As a head coach, though, I see where he's coming from as far as, his former team. I see that former conference. I see the team that he decided to get hired to get signed to.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Where are we going with this?
And then he says that.
Yeah.
Then he says that one. You can't forget that quote. You cannot forget that quote. To me. And this is. I'm taking the bias out of this completely. He showed his belly. He laid down on his back, he lifted his shirt, and he showed his belly.
I can kind of see that. But I also I do get where the quote's coming from. I do get it. Because it's like when it comes to any form of athletics, you don't want literal blood hatred where it's like we're gangs on the street where it's like if I see you wearing a Michigan hoodie, I'm going to stab you.
It's never been that way.
Yeah, I know. I get where he's coming from, but I also can push back of say, big dog, I understand what you're doing, but you wouldn't even utter BYU's name, first off. And second off, you're just freshly here. Maybe you should have held off on that quote for maybe a year. Yeah, maybe a year. Maybe freshly hold off that quote. You know what I mean?
I'll be honest with you, that just added fuel to the fire, in my opinion, to Ohio State.
Yeah.
But that could be spun negatively. The fuel to the fire could be too much fuel, and we could go in there hot-headed. We could go in there guns blazing and too overly zealous, and things can be different. But you've always known me as an Ohio State fan who is not delusional. Okay. I understand when my Buckeyes are bad. I understand and I give Michigan props when they beat us because I would rather the rivalry be competitive than not be competitive.
Yeah, you don't want a Penn State Temple rivalry over here.
Exactly. Or what Penn State thinks they have in a rivalry with Ohio State or Michigan.
Yeah.
Those rivalries don't exist. But I cannot agree with a coach going into the only, at least as far as my knowledge is concerned, the only rivalry in sports, in American sports, that started from a legitimate war.
Yeah.
You can't say that type of thing.
Yeah.
And expect to not be badgered about it.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I agree with the badgering. It's like I said, it's one of those things where I do get why he said it, but also Maybe you should have held off on saying that for maybe a year. You
Yeah.
need to get your feet wet in the team for one. You've been at Utah for a long time, big dog. It's
Yep.
just like let's get your feet wet over here first, and then kind of
You're
go.
going from the Big 12 to the Big 10. You're going into one of the
Yeah,
most dangerous
exactly.
rivalries in all of college
Like
football. It's a whole game.
if you want to talk all athletics across the board, any sport, pro, college, anything, any sport, like the game is one of the top 10. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
not many rivalries like the game. There's really not. It's very far and few between. I'm also proud to say that I think Bears and Packers is in that top 10 for sure. I'm proud to say
Cowboys
that.
and Eagles are probably up there too.
I don't know if I'd put them top 10 because let's be honest, Cowboys is an interesting one. And I say this as like having like older Cowboys fans that I know as well, of where it's
Yeah.
almost like you guys' number one rivalry, it just changes. Because for the longest time, I know an older Cowboys fan who despised Washington with all of their heart and soul.
Washington.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
that one I wouldn't put top 10. That's growing because you got to think like you got some Yankees rivalries in there, Yankees and Sox. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
you got some
Yep.
other stuff to consider. But I don't know if I'd put it top 10, but I'm talking historical stuff. Oh, Jurgis is in there. I think Bears Packers is in there. It's again, when it comes to Kyle, maybe he should have held off on that a little bit.
Yeah. Side note, I have Michigan going 6-6.
I could see 6-6. Like I said, I've got them going 9-3, losing to Oklahoma, Oregon, and Ohio State. But I can see it going down to 6-6. Now, I didn't actually have like a firm like record for this team, but just out of curiosity, staying in the state of Michigan, how do you feel about Michigan State this year? Because I'm just a big Pat fan. I thought Pat did well for what he did at Northwestern and everything. How do you think he's going to do in year one with the Spartans?
I think there's going to be some major growing pains.
For sure.
Obviously, it's a historic program. I give them that. They used to be really good in the early 2010s, and they've fallen off the wagon wheel big time as of late. I don't see them getting over the hump, obviously, or even getting close to the hump this year. I give him 3 years.
Yeah.
To get over that hump. I have them going 3-9. Their schedule is decently tough, relatively, for Michigan State standards, at least current Michigan State.
Right.
I have them beating Eastern Michigan, UCLA, and Rutgers.
Well, what about Toledo?
I have Toledo winning.
Really?
I have Toledo beating them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out.
Like I said, growing pains.
I mean, I can see a schedule like that. I was just curious because I am a Pat fan. And I hope they at least make a bowl game is what I'm hoping for. I don't think they will because I am a Pat supporter. I'm just hoping for the best on that one. Now the last 2 teams that I will shout out of the Big Ten that I think will be competitors will be USC. I've got them going 9-3. They've got a really tough schedule, man. They've got some tough games to go against for sure. But I like them going 9-3. I could see that slipping. I could see that being a little bit better and be a little sneaky. And I do also like Washington going about 9-3 as well.
Okay. I will say I have USC and Washington both going 8-4, 5-4 in conference just because they have a little bit tougher schedules. So I think it's for USC specifically, I think it's going to be a grudge match damn near every single game for them.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of wear and tear for both of those teams, and I don't have confidence in either of them coming out unscathed or with minimal like wear and tear.
Right.
As far as teams that I have still in the picture, I have 6 total teams going at least 10 wins and up. Obviously, Ohio State, Michigan, and Indiana being my top 3. 4, 5, and 6 are a toss up for me because I can interchange them at random. But I have Minnesota at number 4 at 11-1.
Wow.
I have very, very big high hopes for this Minnesota team this year.
I could tell.
I like what they're doing. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing from camps.
Good schedule too.
Very favorable.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. Good schedule.
It's not like super hard, but it's also not super difficult or super easy.
Yeah.
But then I have a tie for 5th place at 10-2. I have Illinois and Iowa.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm looking at the Minnesota schedule. I see what you're saying. I think this is pretty favorable for sure.
Minnesota's only loss I have is Iowa. I
Um,
think Iowa gives me some an interesting taste in my mouth.
yeah. Did you say Penn State? I'm sorry if I didn't catch it.
No, I did not say Penn
Okay.
State because sorry, Tyler. Yikes. Big yikes.
I don't know.
6-6.
I mean, I could see 6-6, but I think 8-4 is possible. I'm looking at the schedule
That
right now.
schedule's difficult.
Yeah, I mean it can be. I mean, I think at least the first 5 games I think are all very winnable. Potential losses in there for sure, but I think first 5 are very winnable. I think USC coming to Penn State makes it winnable for them. Going to Michigan
Fair.
will be tough. Purdue, I think, is very winnable, obviously, but it's also Purdue. You never know with them.
It's
Yeah,
don't get me started about that team.
yeah, it's Purdue. Washington will be tough, but I think they can win. I think they can beat Minnesota. They'll beat Rutgers. They'll beat Maryland. So I mean, I think they'll be bowl eligible in Matt Campbell's first year.
So I have their losses being Wisconsin. I have them losing 4 straight: Wisconsin, Northwestern, USC, Michigan, and then I have them losing to Washington and Minnesota.
Interesting.
I still have them bowl eligible though.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I'll tell.
Growing pains. It's just like shit. Who are we? Michigan State.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, we'll have to get Tyler's thoughts on that and see what he says about it. But
Yeah.
Anyway, no, Big Ten should be a lot of fun. Very competitive. It's gonna be very, very competitive. I mean, adding in like that Oregon, the USC, and Washington and UCLA, they exist. Bob Chesney, shout out. I think he'll have a growing pains. We just said it, growing pains year for Bob Chesney and the Bruins. But hey, won 3 straight natties. Will it be a 4th? We'll see in the next video where we talk about our half-ass attempt at a CFP.